What's up, everyone? Welcome into another edition of Catfish on Ice with Chad Mitten and co-host Rich Howe. We're joining you on this Monday evening here in Smashville. Welcome in, everyone. We're happy you're here with us, coming out of a really brutal weekend for Nashville sports fans, including myself. I'll get into it a little bit later, but I'm sure a lot of people already know what I'm talking about. It was a really, really excruciating, painful weekend for any sports fans in Nashville for the most part. Just one hit after another, especially on Sunday. Sunday was really bad, but we'll save that for a little bit later.
Yeah,
and of course the Predators played a part in that by getting completely decimated by the Colorado Avalanche on Saturday. We're going to try to move past that. We're going to try to move past that. That's another really eye-opening loss for the Preds against a really quality team. And if you keep seeing those losses, you're going to start worrying about if this team is destined to be another first-round exit, or maybe they don't even make the playoffs at all. They got to start playing better against the quality teams in the league, like the Colorado Avalanche.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was horrible. I started to make a joke and say it was a bloodbath because it was a horrible loss, and then Matthias Ekholm got cut open.
Yeah.
But
that was a really fair term. We're going to talk about Matthias Eckholm a little bit later in this episode. We're going to talk about whether it's time to start worrying about Matthias Ekholm because he just got a new contract right before the season started, and he's arguably having one of the worst seasons of his career up to this point. He has plenty of time. He has plenty of time to turn it around. But we're going to talk about if there's legitimate reasons to be worried about Matthias Ekholm. We're going to open up the episode with our quarterly stock reports. We're not going to report cards. Everybody does the report cards. We're going to frame it a little bit differently. We're going to frame it like the stock market. Every Preds player is a stock. Do you want to buy high? Do you want to sell low? All that stuff. Of course, you don't want to do that. You want to go the other way around. So we're going to treat the Predators like they are stocks. Are they rising? Are they falling? Is the best yet to come? That kind of stuff. We are going to look at the top core of the lineup first. So Philip Forsberg, Roman Yossi, players like that. We're going to cover them tonight.
Yep.
And then in Thursday's episode, we will get into the depth players. So this will be a two-part series going into this Thursday's episode 85. So we'll list a player. We'll see. We'll say how their stock's doing through the first 20 games or 21 games now of the season for the Nashville Predators. Of course, we got our buddy Kyle Perkins joining later on for Perks Picks. It's Monday night. Rich, you want to go ahead and do your Perks Picks like it's Blue's Clues?
Perks Picks. That's it. That's all I got.
It's so cringy. All right, it's okay. It's okay.
That's all right. Who can we laugh at if not ourselves, right?
That's a really good point. If more people in this world took that approach, it'd be a better place.
Absolutely.
Fully believe that. All right, but he will be joining us, and I'm sure he'll bring plenty of laughs to the episode like he always does.
Oh, yeah.
And then what else do we got here? We got a lot to cover. We put a poll question out. It's a pretty slow NHL night, but we'll update the poll question. And then to really, really close it out, we're going to do some quick hitters. There's a lot of interesting storylines going on across the NHL right now. You've got Evander Kane cleared waivers. You've got the controversy with Brad Marchand, who he had a slew foot and he gets suspended, and it feels like the league is not being very even in the way they're calling these suspensions. They're fining some players, but then they're suspending other players for basically the same offense. It makes no sense. I know Rich has a lot of feelings about that because his second team is the Boston Bruins.
Yep.
Sometimes I wonder if he likes the Bruins more than the Predators, but we'll leave that alone.
There's no way.
No way.
Right. Why would I do that?
Fair enough. I believe you.
Yeah. All right. I hope so.
And then to round out this episode, we have to do our contest drawing.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna give away the Colton Sissons puck tonight. We are gonna give away the $25.
The names are in here.
Oh, nice. In an official Catfish on Ice podcast hat, mind you.
Yep.
There's all the names. We've got a decent amount of names in there to draw from, but your odds are still pretty good if you're in there. So should be a lot of fun to see which one of our listeners who joined the contest giveaway will win the Colton Sissons holiday-themed autographed puck.
Yep.
And you can never have too much Pred swag. You can never have too much Preds collectibles for your collection. And that Colton Sissons puck will be a nice addition to the collection.
Absolutely. Get you a case, put it in. Yep. Nice thing.
Let's get into it with this quarterly stock report. That's what I'm calling it. I find the stock market very fascinating. I'm not like one of those everyday traders, obviously. Like I'm not like these hardcore people that get up every day in the morning and just look at the stock market. I'm not that crazy about it, but I do find it fascinating. So I thought, let's frame it like it's the stock market.
Yes.
Let's look at each player on the team and treat it like it's a stock. And let's say how we're feeling about the stock.
Today we're going to do all the big boys.
Yep, we're going to do the high-paid players, the players that are supposed to lead the team. So we're getting down into the nitty-gritty right out of the start here. And how about we go ahead and start off with our perfect player, and that is Roman Yossi.
Oh, man.
He's having a great season. His stock is definitely soaring. Do we think, however, that he will keep this pace going? If we're looking at it like a stock market, do you think he's in danger of dipping? Do you think this is sustainable? That's kind of how I'm looking at it. I personally think it is. I think that he will be, for sure, one of the 3 nominees for the Norris Trophy. I am calling my shot right now. I think he'll be one of the 3 nominees. I don't know if he'll necessarily win the Norris Trophy, but I think he'll be in the top 3. What do you think, Rich?
I agree. I agree 100%. I think it is sustainable. He's done it before. The year that he won the Norris Trophy wasn't the greatest year for the Predators, but he still managed to pull it off. He was like, the Norris is given to the player who has the defenseman who has the biggest impact on the team. You take away Roman Yossi, and there's nothing. I mean, there's nothing on the team. I mean, he's the glue that holds the whole team together. I feel. And I think that he can definitely sustain it. They're going to score goals throughout the season, and he's definitely going to be involved in it. So I think he's off to a good start. We're a quarter of the way through, and he's got 20 points. His Norris year, the year he won the Norris, he had 65 points, I believe. So if he can just maintain what he's doing, he's actually tied for 3rd right now among defensemen. So John Carlson, Adam Fox, and Yossi's actually tied with Cale Makar. So
there you go. So he's right there with the elite defensemen of the league. He's right there with them. And you always got to hope that the Norris Trophy isn't just who scores the most points, because that's boring. Why are you going to have a Norris Trophy if that's the only criteria? I think it needs to be given to the defenseman that's most important to their team. And I do think Adam Fox, though, you can make a really good argument. If anyone's going to win it over Yossi, I could see Adam Fox getting it for sure. Yeah. Didn't he win it last year? I'm pretty sure.
I can't remember. I think he might have.
I'm pretty sure he did. So he could easily go back to back on the Norris Trophy, possibly.
Well, that was the big thing the year that Yossi won it. He was neck and neck with John Carlson, and I think John Carlson actually had maybe a few more points than him. I can't really remember, but it's not just the points; it's the impact on the team, like I said. And if you take away John Carlson off of the Washington Capitals, I think they'll still be okay. They'll survive. They got Backstrom and Ovechkin and all those guys. But if you take away Yossi from the Predators, that'd be a big hole left in the team. So
So I think Yossi's stock, since we're framing this as a stock market, I think his stock is going to stay high and it's going to stay steady. Yep. Do I think he could even go higher? That's going to be hard to do because he's already performing so well as it is. How much higher can he go? But I do think he's going to stay steady. I do think he's going to continue at this pace, and he's going to have a really good chance to win another Norris Trophy. So that's how we both feel about Roman Yossi. Let's get into our next player. That is Matt Duchaine.
Oh.
You want to talk about what you wish you would have bought some Matt Duchaine stock before it started soaring, because now it is soaring. It's like one of those stocks where no one knew anything about the company, and the stock wasn't that great, and then it just takes off, and now you're like, should I buy this stock now that it's soaring? That's kind of how I see Matt Duchaine. He is just taking everyone by storm. We always knew he had it in him, but I didn't see it like this.
Last year you could have bought some Matt Duchaine stock for probably pennies on the dollar. So
Yeah, and you'd be really rich right now if we're looking
You
at it that
would,
way.
because man, he is on fire. I've said it numerous times on here. People are probably getting tired of hearing it, but just so good to see him the way he's playing. It's what we've wanted, and we knew he could do it, and he's finally living up to it. And I just, we're all hoping that it's sustainable. So I'm sure we're going to talk about the sustainability, but yeah, hope that he can keep it up.
Just looking past Duchaine's primary statistics like goals and assists, obviously he's got a really good chance to set the new single season goal record for the Preds, which is at 34. Obviously he can do that, but he has become the catalyst of the Preds offense right now, along with Roman Yossi, of course. He is second on the team in offensive zone start percentage. And guess who's leading that category, actually? You're going to be surprised by this.
Who's that?
Philip Tomasino, actually.
Wow. That is a surprise. Wow.
So Matt Duchaine's right up there. Of course, his shots per game is way up. That's a big indicator of how much more aggressive he's being. And even in garbage time, he got a goal against the Colorado Avalanche.
He did, yeah.
I mean, it didn't really matter. It literally did not matter at that point. No. The only thing that was sweet about that goal is he keeps up his pace. And then, obviously, we got some boo birds from the Avalanche fans, which was nice.
Which that's just whatever. We're not going to go down that road.
How do you feel about Duchaine? Do you think he can keep this pace up, kind of like how I framed Yossi, or do you think that eventually he's got to come back down to reality a little bit, and maybe he goes through a little bit of a rough patch?
The fan in me wants, obviously, to see him continue on this path that he's on. I have a little bit of doubt that he can continue it. I hate to say that, but I just really feel like, goals are a premium for this team, and that, we got to take the ones that come, and can he do that every night? I just don't know. I hope so. It seems like he's able to, but and it's one of those you got to prove me wrong type things, I guess, because we've been bitten for however many years.
Let's talk about how well Duchaine performed in Philip Forsberg's absence. I mean, that was really impressive.
That was impressive.
He played a major role in keeping the Preds competitive and not missing Forsberg too much. Duchaine played a big part in that.
Yes, he did. Yeah, and that was, that's what kept them going.
I will say this. I think Duchaine's stock is maxed out. I don't think it's going any higher.
Really?
If anything, I think his stock is going to dip a little bit. So be cautious if you're looking at Matt Duchaine's stock right now. Because I do think that he's going to take a little bit of a dip, and maybe his crazy pace he's on right now is going to slow down a little bit. I'm not going to say he's just going to completely fall off the face of the earth, but I do think that it's going to be really hard for him to sustain this kind of a scoring pace and this kind of an offensive pace for the full 82 games.
I agree. Yeah, and just the Preds are like on a teetering on the brink right now. We see these bad losses, and you just don't know which way the team's going to go. So it's you can't really tell. If he can sustain that, if all of them can sustain the way they're playing, they're playing really well. It's just these win one, lose one, or win one and then lose two. It's hard to judge how any of them are going to perform. Right. Really.
You're not going to like this next player I'm about to name, Rich, but I feel like this player's stock is not steadily. It's somewhat falling right now.
All right.
But that means you can buy low, because I think this player is going to eventually bounce back. That is our beloved Yossi Saros.
Oh.
I feel like his stock is taking a decline right now after watching the first 21 games, and I don't think it's all his fault. Obviously, I do not think it's all his fault. Yeah, but unlike what the Preds fans like to tell the other goaltender, it is not all of Yossi Saros' fault. But he still has to start making the clutch saves, even if they're difficult, when it matters. Right. If we're going to move him up to that next tier of elite goaltenders, he's got to start making the really critical saves, even when the team in front of him might not be playing well. And I know that's unfair to ask of him, but unfortunately, if you want to be considered an elite goaltender, sometimes that's how you have to be. Every every great goaltender has teams in front of them who might have their lapses, and those elite goaltenders have to pick up the slack sometimes. I need to start seeing Yossi Saros perform better in those critical moments when the team has a giveaway, and sometimes it's impossible. Sometimes these goals he's given up, he had no chance. It was humanly possible. So I'm not saying those types of goals, but there are times where the Preds have a giveaway. Yossi Saros gets put in a really tough situation, but it's still possible that he can make the clutch save. And he hasn't really done that.
He has not. He did the second half of last season. We saw a bunch of just incredible saves by him, and he's had some this year. But it's like you said, it's so weird because like he was playing, like he started off really strong, and like he was in like the top like 5 goaltenders, and then like he's just dipped like really really low right now. And like you said, not all his fault, but you do need to see him start making some of those big saves. He did it last year, and that's what, like we said, everything is like teetering right now, and that's another facet of it. We saw it last year, we've seen some this year, but he's not sustaining it so far. And it's a little worrisome, to tell you the truth.
I'll see if I can find it, but I know Jay Fresh, who does all the awesome analytics and graphics, the last time he ranked all the goaltenders and saves above expected, I want to say that Yossi Saros was kind of in the middle. Like he was kind of right there, just kind of hovering around below average to mediocre, dare I say, in that category. And at one time, we've seen Yossi Saros near the top, in that category.
He was like top 3. Yeah.
But if we're framing this as a stock, and if Yossi Saros is a stock, I say you buy low, because I do think that Yossi Saros has another stretch of really strong performances in his future this season. And it's going to really help the Predators do exactly what they did last season, which is make another push for another playoff appearance.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to need him. And like you said, playing the big games against like Colorado and teams like that, man, you got to get up for those games. I don't know what else to tell them, but got to be ready to go.
All right, for sure. We're moving through these players here. So we're doing our quarterly stock report. We're not doing the report cards. Everybody does that. We are doing this like it's the stock market here. And because we're at the quarter mark of the season, it's hard to believe we've already made it through the quarter mark of the season. And I've got another player who I think their stock just keeps getting better and better, and I think their stock's going to keep going higher and higher, I think. And that is Mikael Grenlin.
Oh, yeah. Everybody loves Grenlin.
I mean, the guy just every time he's on the ice, I feel like he's making things happen. He's generating scoring chances. He's figuring out ways to just make his line mates better. And I know the goals aren't there necessarily, but that's okay. He doesn't have to pile up all the goals. His assist numbers are incredible. He's skating really well. And I just think he's going to keep improving. I will not be surprised at all if Grenlin ends up leading the team in points this season.
I wouldn't be surprised either. He's got 21 right now. Last season, I know it was a short season or whatever, but he had 27 points. And the year before, they played 63 games. He had 30 points. But the year he came, it was only a short season, or he was only there after the trade deadline when he came. But, yeah, I mean, he looks really good. He's passing really well. He takes the shots on goal when he needs to. Everybody was upset that he didn't perform like advertised when he first came here. And, he's almost, left the team a couple times, wanting to be not traded, but at the trade deadline, free agent. Free agency.
Let's be honest. He was shopping around.
He was, yes, definitely.
And he didn't get any really good bites on the market. And so it's kind of like, I look at it like the girlfriend and boyfriend that break up with each other. The girlfriend looks to see who else is out there on the market, doesn't like what she sees. And that can go both ways. I'm not saying like only girls do that. I'm saying like a relationship, there's a breakup. The other person goes, it's like, I think the grass is greener on the other side. I'm going to go see what else is out there. I don't really like what I'm seeing on this singles market. Hey, let's get back together.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I felt like that.
Yeah, and it's just because of the performance. The Predators, they were bad the first half of last year. So, who's going to want somebody who wants $4, $5, $6 million as a free agent to come play for their team if you're not producing? So, I think it's good. I think it's good that they kept him, and it's definitely helped the team. I don't know what happened or how he turned it around, but he's playing incredibly, and it's a good thing to see, definitely.
I just think he's getting more and more comfortable in the system.
And that too. Yeah, that's the other thing.
I mean, you got to think when he came to the team, I mean, the team was really in disarray, and there was really nothing smooth about this team. No. And now at least, even though the team has its deficiencies, we saw that clearly on Saturday night against the Avalanche, but you're starting to see a team that at least has an identity. They have some uniformity. They play for each other. They're building that critical chemistry you need. And Grenlin is starting to thrive and look very similar. I don't say he's there yet, but he's playing very similar to how he looked in Minnesota. And so that's why I say, unlike Duchaine, I think Grenlin's stock actually has room to go even higher.
I think so too. Goes. I agree 100%. Yeah.
Grenlin's stock has certainly risen as the season started, and I think it has room to grow.
Yep. Absolutely.
All right. We got one more player to cover in our core players. We're not going to cover every player on the roster. We're covering kind of the main ones here. If anyone listening or watching wants to tweet at the show at Catfish Ice or let us know in the live chat, if there's a player we don't cover and you want us to cover a player, we'll fit him into this stock report. We're not going to cover every player. Otherwise, we'll be here all night. And we have other things to cover as well. But I do want to list one more player who I think is going to be a complicated one, and that is Philip Forsberg.
Yeah, I knew that was coming.
All right, Rich. I'm going to let you take the lead on this one. Do you think that Forsberg's stock is plummeting? Do you think not because it doesn't have to be because of his play on the ice? This can be a multi-dimensional question here, and of course, the big reason why is the trade possibilities. It's becoming very, very possible that Philip Forsberg is eventually traded this season.
Yeah, one day I'm like, why would he want to go anywhere else? Of course, he's going to sign a deal. They're going to get it done. Then the next day I'm kind of like, why would they not shop him around and see what they could get? But then you look also at like, what could you get? Like he's awesome. Obviously, we all love Philip Forsberg. He's not an elite player. He hasn't taken that step to reach that level. He struggles at times for the Predators. He gets hurt. He gets hurt. Like he got hurt this year. Obviously, he got hurt some last year, and it's hard to tell. It's so hard to tell because being a free agent, is he going to even depending on what the Predators do, is he even going to want to stay? Like he might not even want to stay.
That's actually what I was about. That's actually exactly what I was about to bring up.
Yeah.
You ask yourself, what could you get on the trade market right now for Forsberg? But here's the deal. You cannot risk losing Forsberg for nothing if he hits free agency. No. And I'm having a hard time believing that Forsberg is going to take the hometown discount, come back to the Preds, and show, I love this city so much I can never leave it. I'm a Nashville Predator for life. I just don't believe it. I don't think it'll happen. I think he's going to test the market if he makes it there. And I firmly believe that he's going to get a lot of interest because every team out there thinks, Forsberg, you just need to play for us to take that next step into the elite status. You're in the wrong environment. You're not playing for the right team.
And that may be true.
You know how bad that's going to hurt if the Predators decide to hold on to Forsberg. They gut it out with him. Let's say he has a great rest of the year. Let's say the Predators even make the playoffs again, but they get bounced in the first round again. And then everyone's like, oh, and then we have to start immediately talking about Forsberg negotiations. And he comes out and says, I love Nashville. It's been my home. I'll forever be grateful, but I'm going to test the market. I'm sorry. I feel like I have a crystal ball right now, and I'm already seeing it happen.
Yeah, and that would hurt and be horrible. It almost happened with Matthias Ekholm, like
Yeah.
the same. It's the same situation, but
this is on a much larger scale.
Way larger scale. That's what I was going to say. It's like two kind of totally different situations, but
so I think that Forsberg's stock. I'm just going to say this: stay the hell away from it. There's certain stocks out there.
Yeah.
There's certain stocks out there on the stock exchange where I'm sure, like stock experts or someone who can help you with the stock market would say, I wouldn't touch that stock because it's volatile and I don't know which way it's going to go. It could drop one day and then shoot up the next day and then drop again. Stay away from it. Hate to say it, but Forsberg, if you're on the stock market, I'm staying away from you. I'm not touching you. I don't trust it. I don't trust the stock. It could plummet tomorrow, and that's really how I feel about it. I really hope that Forsberg can string together some really strong performances because obviously I want to see the Predators win, and if Forsberg's playing well, that obviously helps the Predators' chances of winning. But unless the Predators have a really, really strong postseason performance this year, when I say strong, I mean they definitely get past the first round and at least have a very quality competitive second round, then maybe you could convince Forsberg to think, you know what, we're building something here. I want to stick around.
Yeah, that's the thing, though. Like,
but if Forsberg has to go through another first round exit, he's only human. He wants to win a cup like everybody else, and it's gonna. I think the urge to see what else is out there is going to be too strong for him.
Yep, and like legitimately ask yourself this question right now: do you think, if the Predators make it to the playoffs, do you legitimately think that they can get out of the first round?
I mean, probably not, but I'm not going to go that. I'm not going to even begin to try to answer that question because I got to see how they look through the next 60 games. I got to see what the scenario is for how they make the playoffs. Do they Do they sneak in through the back door because other teams struggle around them? And then, of course, who do they play in the first round? I mean, that's really what it all comes down to.
True.
I do think the way I'm looking at this team right now, if they drew the right opponent, just the perfect matchup first round, and everything broke perfectly, and of course UC Saros just stole a series, just like people were saying last postseason, they were like the only way the Predators are going to beat the Hurricanes is if UC Saros steals it. That's the only way I can really see it happening. I don't think this team is ready for postseason success yet.
Yep. The reason I asked you. Go ahead. Yeah.
Well, go ahead. I'll let you finish, but I was just going to say real quick. I think that means that Forsberg's not going to be persuaded to stay here.
Yep. So the reason I asked you that question is because all those things you just said are exactly what Philip Forsberg is probably thinking in his mind.
Oh, for sure.
So
and I'm sorry for cutting you off just now, Rich, because I feel like Kanye West back in the day when
he cut off Taylor Swift.
And he literally said that exact sentence. I'm going to let you finish in a minute, but I got to say this. That's literally what awesome, I just did to Rich. I just gave Rich the Taylor Swift stuff here.
Kanye'd me.
I just Kanye'd you. That's good, though. I don't think that's a good thing at all.
No, it's
all right. So that wraps up our quarterly stock report. I also did an article for predlines.com if you want to go check it out, covering this exact topic more in depth. Kind of put my thoughts on paper. Go check that if you like. And also, like I said, tweet the show at Catfish Ice. Let us know if we didn't cover a player you want to get covered. We'll cover it. We didn't cover Ryan Johansen. We didn't cover Ryan Johansen's a big one. We didn't do Colton Sissons is a depth player. We'll cover him on Thursday.
But a veteran. But still a veteran.
He is a veteran. But there's a couple players you want us to cover. We'll try to fit it in the episode tonight. Let's get into our next segment here of Catfish on Ice. This is episode 84 with Chad Minton and Rich Howe. We are part of the Hockey Podcast Network, and we are presented by DraftKings. Let's get into our next topic here, and that is Matthias Eckholm. Is it time to legitimately start worrying about Matthias Eckholm? And the reason why this topic is really a little unsettling is he just signed a new 4-year deal. Although it didn't break the bank, I think it was a pretty team-friendly deal.
Mm-hmm.
It still makes you a little nervous and gives you a little reason for pause that he's got that contract, and he is just having a rough year. And I'm sorry, but that scrum that ended with his bloody forehead and him getting sucker punched by Gabriel Landeskog, but you also got to say that Ekholm did instigate it a little bit by ripping when you rip the other team's star player's helmet off, you're going to get a backlash. And so I see fault in both parties, but I'm still never going to condone punching a defenseless player who can't get their gloves off. But that whole sequence really perfectly sums up Mattias Ekholm's season so far.
Yeah, it's not pretty. So far on the season, 21 games played, he has 3 assists. That's it.
He's never been a primary offensive defenseman like a Ryan Ellis or a Roman Yossi, obviously, but he's always contributed and pitched in a little bit. Yeah, and he's just invisible out there. Like sometimes I forget he's even playing, and I'm not even trying to be sarcastic here. Sometimes I really have to double check the box score to make sure he even played. Did my eyes mess with me? Did I think I thought I saw Ekholm out there, but he sure as heck isn't doing anything out there of significance. And and here's what's really troubling. He is getting so much ice time. He is among all skaters, so not counting goaltenders, obviously. He is second on the team in average ice time, only trailing Roman Yossi.
I just saw that. Wow, that's a lot. 23 minutes, 16 seconds. Wow.
And no one's ever going to pass Roman Yossi in that category on the team. But wow, Ekholm, come on, Ecky. You're getting that much ice time, and you are not producing anything for this team. And I love you, and you can see the frustration in him.
Yep.
You clearly see that Ekholm has a lot of frustration building. It's human nature. He knows he's not playing as well as he could. And what's really odd about this whole thing is last season, you could argue, was one of his better seasons of his career, which is why he got the contract extension or the contract re-signing. So there's still obviously another 60 games left for him to turn this around and bounce back. He is a true professional, and I have a lot of faith in him that he can figure this out. But he's really going through a rough one. And we just came out of stock reports. I'll go ahead and say that Ekholm's stock is about as low as it can get right now. And I'm not so sure, unless you're a true believer in Mattias Ekholm, I'm not sure you should buy that stock.
Absolutely. Going back to the Colorado game, I'm sure a lot of the frustration came out in that game, and that was just a stupid thing he did. He probably regrets doing it. I mean, I would be more mad that I got sucker punched, but I'm sure he didn't. They get into the moment and just probably lose their heads a little bit, and he just was trying to get at the guy or whatever. But yeah, I think all the frustration of so far, like you said, has come out. It actually came out in that game. So yeah, he needs to turn it around. They need him. I mean, he did pitch in some goals and some assists and stuff, but it's just not happening. They need everybody on deck, obviously, and he's one of the big parts of that. So
do you think it's a matter of not putting him with the right line mate? He's kind of been – who's he been playing with mostly this year?
I don't know. They switch it up all the time.
I feel like he's mostly been playing with either a combination of Myers or
was he with Carrier? Or did they – I can't remember who he was with last game. I thought it was –
like you said, they've been shuffling it around a lot.
Yeah, they shuffle him around. It's hard to tell.
Roman Yossi's – I feel like he's been playing with Fabro a lot, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
So maybe you switch it back up here. I mean, because at least Ekholm and Fabro have played together a lot. They played together a lot when Fabro first came in the league. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here. But something's got to shake up Ekholm here and get him back to where we know he's not this type. We know he's not this type of player. We know he can play so much better. And the Preds really need it because I got to tell you, he's really been kind of a liability defensively. And I even hate saying that, but it's true. Mm-hmm. You want to talk about the giveaway problem that the Preds have had this year? They've been giving the puck away a lot and been putting Yossi Saros in compromising situations. Mattias Ekholm has played a part in that when much of his career he has not been obviously that type of player. He's always been really smart with the puck. But through these first 21 games, he has had a horrible stretch. One of the worst stretches I can ever remember him going through.
Yeah, it's really weird. And there's only really a couple of options for him. It's either Fabra or Carrier. So, they need to figure out which one of those he plays best with and just stick with it or something. Something needs to change because it's just not happening, not working right now. So,
all right. So, we got to pump the brakes a little bit here because, like I said, it's still early in the season, but there is fully reason to be concerned about Matthias Ekholm and his play. Like, if you're concerned about him, you have every right to be, because it's been kind of rough sledding for him. So let's hope he can turn that around. The Preds really need it. All right, so we are presented by DraftKings. The NHL season is underway, and DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL, has an unbelievable offer to celebrate the greatest sport on ice. New customers can bet just $1 on any NHL game right now and win $100 and free bets if either team scores a goal. Doesn't matter if it's a one-timer, deflection, however you light the lamp, you win with the DraftKings Sportsbook app. If the Sportsbook app is not available in your state yet, DraftKings will not leave you empty-handed, because you can play daily fantasy, which is a ton of fun. And so you can get in on that and win millions of dollars worth of prizes. So go download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code THPN. Throw down $1 on any NHL game and win $100 in free bets if either team scores a goal. This week, one puck in the net nets you a big win with promo code THPN at the DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL. Must be 21 years or older in New Jersey, Indiana, or Pennsylvania. New customers only. Minimum $5 deposit and $1 wager is required. One per customer. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. And if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. And we have shots fired tonight on the Catfish and Ice podcast. Lindsay has chimed in, and she says, "Hello, friends. You are going down, Chad." And I know what she's talking about. Matching up with Lindsay in fantasy hockey this week on the Catfish and Ice podcast official fantasy hockey league. And Lindsay, I'm scrambling. I've already scrambled all day to fix my lineup and make sure it's ready to go, because I know I better bring my A game if I'm going to beat you in fantasy hockey. My team's doing pretty well. I think I've won like 3 weeks in a row.
That's awesome.
I'm in danger this week because Chucky's Angels, which is Lindsay's team, which is heavily Calgary Flames players, might I add.
Smart
on her part, because the Calgary Flames are one of the hot teams in the league. So we'll see what happens. You're putting all your eggs in one basket, though. If the Calgary Flames have a rough week, you might be in trouble, Lindsay.
If it's tough sledding up there, like they say in Canada. Here's Zach.
And we got Zach. We got Zachary on the
Twitter.
What's up, Zach? He's saying, throw a former Thrashers fan some love, LOL. Man, the Atlanta Thrashers. Long live the Atlanta Thrashers.
It's funny. They have have you seen their Twitter account, the Thrashers? Somebody has a Twitter account that it's like the Atlanta Thrashers.
Yeah, it's so funny. They put out so many funny tweets.
Yeah, they're like, we're going to claim Vander Kane off waivers, stuff like that. It's funny. Yeah, it's awesome. Very awesome. What's Lindsay
all right?
saying?
So we are next segment of Cat and Ice, and that is picks. We got Kyle Perkins joining right now. Let's get him in.
Perks picks.
Hi, fellas.
What's up, man?
Oh, not a whole lot. Sitting there on another beautiful Monday.
Yes, sir. What's that jersey you got back there?
Oh, yes. Well,
it's just a regular home.
Oh, is it? That's cool.
I wish it was something nifty, but no, all mine are blanks. I've got 2 homes and 1 away.
Oh, I want an away one. I'm going to get one eventually. I don't have one, so.
Hey,
I ran up on one of those.
When you go the blank jersey, I was going to say real quick, when you go the blank jersey route, that's usually the safe way to go, because you don't have to ever worry about that player leaving.
Yep. At this point, you either get a Pecorine jersey, if you can still get them, or you get a Roman Yossi jersey. Everything else is just it's a gamble.
I'd be a little worried right now if I have a Philip Forsberg jersey, which is what we were just talking about in the last segment. Just saying, I don't have a Philip Forsberg jersey, but I'd be a little worried right now if I did.
Yeah, but I know several people that do.
So how you been, Kyle? Everything going good with you up there in Kentucky, man?
Oh, not too bad. Just getting through the holidays and enjoying all that mess.
'Tis the season.
Oh, yeah. So we hope you had a good Thanksgiving, Kyle. We haven't seen you since Thanksgiving. And you have a Thanksgiving-themed edition of Perks Picks tonight, don't you?
I do. And I will
Let's hear it.
and I will put a little bit of, if I'm comparing things with the Predators to Thanksgiving dishes.
Oh, cool.
If I say something bad about your favorite dish, I do not mean that about you personally.
Oh my gosh.
These are my tastes.
Well, I know for a fact you do not like turkey, so I'm interested to see whose the turkey is.
And that's like you say you didn't like turkey is the biggest hot take regarding Thanksgiving that I've ever heard in my life.
Well, I agree with him because I don't like it either.
What is wrong with you two?
I just don't like it. One year
I like turkey like as a lunch meat. I love turkey. That's crazy. But I also really like ham. I really like Christmas ham though.
Well, that's what we usually have. But one year I actually talked my in-laws into we grilled out ribeye steaks for Thanksgiving, and it was awesome. So awesome.
I can go with that. I can get down with that.
Yeah, it was great.
All right, get us rolling, Kyle.
So our first one is kind of an honorable mention because it really doesn't have anything to do with playing time. But I'm going to say this is cranberry sauce, which is just that little extra thing. And I like.
No on cranberry sauce for me. So this better be a player I don't like. Okay, which I like. I like them all.
But Kyle likes it.
Here's the thing: it's one of those things you either like it, and that's Dante Fabro's fabulous lip sweater. Have you seen this boy's mustache? It is epic. Magnum PI and the Bandit came out on the ice and blessed this man with this mustache. It's beautiful.
Did you say Bandit?
Yes, the Bandit.
That's awesome.
Break.
The mustache thing for the team is just hilarious. Like all the whole team trying to do the mustache thing. Yossi Saros has a pretty awesome mustache.
Yes, but he has been growing that mustache for the better part of 18 months.
Yes.
I'm sure.
It's like
he's doing his best effort.
Yeah. Tolvanen can't apparently grow one.
All right, so Kyle, so let me get this straight. So cranberry sauce is Dante Fabro?
Yep. That's
right. Fair enough.
All right.
A little extra.
Little something, little spice.
The cookie to the side. There you go. All right.
So moving on to the next one. Something that's always there. You never really think about it, but it's more than likely one of the first things you grab, and that's the rolls. The rolls are always there, and they're always good.
They're the glue that holds the meal together.
Yes, and I'm going to call that Ryan Johansen.
Oh,
because over the last 5 games, he has had 1 goal and 7 points. He's been very consistent, even in the losses. His playing style hasn't changed much. He's pretty well kept an even keel, played hard hockey. So, rolls and Ryan Johansen.
I see what you're doing there because dinner rolls don't really change. You can't really do much with them. It's just they're there as long as they're hot and fresh.
But
how
important.
Can you screw up rolls? I mean, I guess you can overcook. I guess you can overcook rolls. You can burn them. But for the most part, rolls are what they are.
They aren't going to let you down real often. So,
but they're still necessary. They're very necessary, but they're also that makes sense. I like that one. I really like that. That's one. A good one. That's good.
All right. So, being from the South, the next one will be sweet tea. And if anybody knows, if the sweet tea is good, you will never hear a word about it. But if the sweet tea is bad, it is the end of the world. Grandma's going to be talking to somebody in the corner. The auntie's going to be over here talking about it with somebody else. And the sweet tea is Yossi Saros.
Oh, man.
So
you were spot on.
I had way too much fun doing these today. That's why I have more of them than I should. But when Yossi's on, he's amazing. But he never gets talked about. But whenever he's bad, it's all over Twitter and Pred's Facebook. He's too short. He's too this. He's too that. But when he's good, it's just like, okay, we expect it.
Yep.
So,
and it's just like you are so brilliant, Kyle, because it's just like sweet tea. I mean, if it's I don't know though. If it's a really good glass of sweet tea, it's just perfect. then I'm probably going to let out some type of an expression. Probably going to do something where people around me are like, this guy likes this tea. Especially if the person made the sweet tea.
Yeah.
But if you drink a really bad, nasty glass of sweet tea, you notice it quick.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to tell you guys, since I'm the northerner here, compared to you guys, I do not like tea either.
Like,
I know you're gonna.
Wait. You don't even like iced tea?
I don't like any kind of tea. I'm sorry. I'm from the northern part of Kentucky, I guess. Maybe that's what it is.
I can't handle this sweet tea down south, though. Some of these people make it so sweet that I feel the sugar like grinding through my teeth, and that's too much for me. Like some of these, so a lot of times I do go to these places, and I'm that annoying customer that asks for the tea half and half.
Oh yeah,
because most of the time the tea is way too damn sweet for me. But I do like it to have just enough sweetness. But sometimes this tea down here is just way too damn sweet for me.
So our next one is something I've only ever had at one Thanksgiving that I've ever been to, and it's been a few years since I've been there. And I got told about this dish when I was on the way there, and I kind of got excited about it. And it's like, this is new, this is different, but I don't know if it's going to be any good or not. And that was pineapple casserole, full on pineapple and cheese and just like a casserole. So being new and different and not sure, that's Philip Tomasino. So
that's good.
Phil went on a pretty good cold streak. Hal Gill said the best line I've ever heard when he said he dingled his dangle. And
that's a good one.
He was snake bit. He couldn't get one to go. He couldn't buy a goal, but he finally got one to go against the Devils, and hopefully that's a sign of better things to come for him. And just like that weird casserole, I enjoy Philip Tomasino.
There you go.
I do really like the way Tomasino plays beyond his years, though. He knows where to skate in those danger areas to score those flashy goals. That's what I really appreciate about Tomasino. Like the goal he scored. His most recent goal, I mean, he skated right to the front of the net there to a point where he could beat the goaltender and really almost catch the goaltender off guard a little bit. And I'm really impressed by that because a lot of times your younger players, you just see them, all they want to do is just get that flashy goal. They want to skate right in the zone and just try to like blast one by the goaltender, get a flashy goal. But Tomasino really is smart with his hockey IQ. And he's also been snake bitten a little bit. Let's be honest. He's had some really near misses. He could easily be up to 7 or 8 goals by now, by my count. Like he's had some really tough breaks where he nearly missed the goal. So I'm feeling pretty good about Tomasino.
He does a really good job of getting to the crease and trying to take a shot from in really, really close. But I think it looks like he's thinking too much, and he tries to do that one too many moves with his stick, and he just loses it right before.
I can't remember what team it was against. Maybe you can help me out on it, but he had a breakaway opportunity where he kind of stumbled a little bit, or
he's done it a couple times.
He did it twice against Vegas.
Okay,
he had 2 really good scoring opportunities against Vegas, and both of them ended up the same way. Which that's a really good goaltender, and I can't say anything bad about him. He's one of my favorite players. So
right.
Leonard to me is about like Rich and some of the guys off of Boston. So all right, moving on to our next one. It's not the most glamorous of things, but if it's not there, you're really gonna miss it. And that's the mashed potatoes.
I love the suspense here. I love the suspense.
I know. It's like I can't wait to hear what the next one is.
I find myself trying to guess which player it is, and I'm never right.
And the glue that has been holding this team together so far this season, Mikael Grenlin.
Man.
He is a point per game player, 5 goals, 16 assists, just solid night in, night out. You know what you're getting every single time. And if he wasn't there, where would this team be?
And if mashed potatoes wasn't at your Thanksgiving dinner, where would the dinner be? I can tell you right now,
mad people.
My house would definitely be under a lot of revolt if there was no mashed potatoes. If Mom just decided not to make the mashed potatoes one year for Thanksgiving, it'd be a problem. And so that's a perfect equation there.
Like I said, I had a lot of fun with these.
Yeah, you clearly thought that well. Like you need to write a book.
You're freaking genius. Gosh,
you could write a book on this and put this at Barnes and Noble on the discount rack for like $2.99. I'm just saying.
People
would buy it.
It's probably more than it's worth.
People would buy it.
Hey man, somebody buy it.
Probably.
All right.
So moving on to our next one, and it's probably one of my favorite things, and that's the macaroni and cheese.
Oh yeah.
If it's good, it's just warm and it's comfortable, and you love it, and you just have. A good macaroni and cheese, you will have you emotionally invested in it.
You're right.
So for a lot of Predators fans, something they're emotionally invested in and makes you feel good a lot of the time, Philip Forsberg.
I was gonna say Roman Yossi. Wow. Okay, you went Philip Forsberg.
No. Oh, Yossi's gonna. Yeah. All right.
Wait, Kyle. You're about to tell me that we're gonna lose our mac and cheese? Okay, this just turned dark.
Oh yeah.
You're going gluten-free.
Oh.
Gosh.
Man.
I thought it was scary to lose the mashed potatoes, but losing the mac and cheese is even worse.
Yeah, that's really bad. But since Phil has came back from his injury, he's got 2 goals, 4 points in 3 games. So he's above a point per game since coming back from his apparent concussion. They haven't said that's what it was, but he doesn't look like he's lost a whole lot of a step since coming back. He seems like he's went right back into his normal routine of things.
Yeah.
Which it makes me really sad.
Except now he's looking for another contract.
Yeah. And I don't
somewhere
think he'll be
here or somewhere else.
Unfortunately.
Don't take away our mac and cheese.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I just got really sad.
Yeah, I know, right?
All right. Now, this is another one of those things that you either love it or you hate it, and I personally love it. And that is sweet potato casserole. See, Rich has already got to say
I don't like sweet potatoes. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh,
but I know it's a big Southern dish. So yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about the one that has like the caramelized sugar and pecans on top, and it's just like this big candy crust. And
I've never seen that. That sounds,
it
sounds like it might be pretty good.
It's basically a dessert. It's a dessert.
Yes, it's basically a dessert.
It's a dessert before you had dessert.
Okay.
Yes.
I would try it if I could find one like you just explained it, I might try it. So
yeah. So you've got this really sweet dish with this substance to it, and that this year is Matt Duchaine. So Duchaine in the last 5 games, 4 goals, 6 points, and always looks like a scoring threat. There is not a game where he doesn't have at least 2 or 3 really good looks. And that right there is just such an improvement over last year. It's just the year before you had somebody bring the sweet potato casserole, and it was the ones that were poured out of a can and just had like 3 or 4 marshmallows thrown on top of it. And
not the big marshmallows either, the little itty bitty
those
small ones,
the little minis.
Wrong.
And then you went from that to this year you've got this big candied creation of goodness, and it hits you on all the right spots.
All right.
So now we're going to get into some that are pretty rough, and God love her. My fiance's family makes this at one of their gatherings, and I told her I was going to put it on here, and I got the biggest eye roll in the history of eye rolls. So they make oyster casserole. Exactly.
I don't even like seafood,
right.
so
I know where you're going with this, Kyle.
Well, you're probably not. I'm gonna hit you with one that just. So,
Gross.
This is one of those things where you just smell it and it's just bleh. Like Woody Harrelson in Semi Pro when he hits Will Ferrell.
Oh,
Yeah, that's how I feel when I walk in the house and that's cooking. It's a bad time.
Mm.
But that would be the Vegas Golden Knights game and the Avalanche game.
Ooh.
Those
Oyster
two
Castle.
games.
Perfect. Yeah.
Definitely stinkers.
Definitely not good. Not good at all. Just stay away from them. You never want to be around them again, and you want to forget about it even happened.
So Kyle, there's kind of a disturbing trend going on here. The Preds are 3-7 against playoff teams from last year, and I mean, you look. Lindsay chimes in. What? Yuck.
I agree.
You're right.
I agree.
But you look at the losses. No, I mean that's hilarious. So you look at the losses the Preds have had to the last year's playoff teams. Lopsided losses against the Oilers, against the Avalanche, against Vegas, against even Toronto. I mean, these are games where they're not even taking it to the end. And if we remember how the season started, the Preds lost a couple games, but they were at least competitive and they were taking it to the end and they had a chance to win at least. But some of these most recent losses, they're not just losses. They're like really lopsided. So I'm starting to really get a little nervous about this trend here of the Preds not being able to play these really quality teams.
Yeah, they got handled. But really, those two teams, if those two teams handle you, I'm not that overly concerned. I kind of expect those. Honestly, I would love to see a little more pushback, but especially defensively. As we've seen this year, this team thrives more off of counterattacking rather than sustained pressure. Most of the goals that you see scored are off of rushes. So need to work on that defensive mindset against some of these high end teams. Especially Colorado, they're so fast, but they're so physical as well.
Oh yeah.
It's just they're hard to deal with. And they get McKinnon back, they're going to be that much harder to deal with.
Yeah.
So,
and the what stands out for them is like the passing. Like I think Chad tweeted about it. It's just like right on the tape every time, man. And it's like it's pretty. It's pretty to watch. That's for sure. You hate them so much, but man, you got to give them props for for playing that way.
And hey, so Kyle, while we got you here, I got to ask your opinion on the Ekholm scrum. It's pretty much what everyone's talked about for the past couple of days. That's really all Preds fans did want to focus on because there was really nothing else in the game we wanted to focus on. How do you feel about it?
We actually got into a couple little arguments on Twitter. Not arguments, but like back and forth with some folks about it.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny.
Well, so that's actually my number 2.
Oh.
Okay. We'll save it for that.
Cool.
All right. Okay. Well, we only got one more in between that and there, but this one is actually 2 players, and they're neither of them are technically Predators yet, but their dishes would be peas and carrots. So, specifically, my grandma would, when I was little, she would get the silver can of the LeSueur early peas, the little bitty ones, and then she would get the baby carrots and all that and fix them all together. And I love it. I love my grandma's cooking.
Carrots.
So that would be Zachary LaRue and Luke Evangelista. So you have the very young babies out here doing big boy things. You've got LaRue comes back from his 4-game suspension, which he deserved, and he admits he deserved it. He comes back and he gets 6 points in 2 days. He gets 2 goals, 4 assists. One of them, I'm pretty sure one of his assists was a primary on the overtime winner in the first game, and he's just coming in lighting it up. I love his passing is so good. If you watch his passing, it's just next level. Really fun to watch him play. I was expecting some rust on him actually coming back off of the 4 games, but he came back in and he's actually one of the QMJHL players of the week.
Oh wow!
So from a suspension to being one of the players of the week in a week's time.
That's awesome.
And then Luke Evangelista is turning into a human highlight reel.
Oh my gosh! I feel like he scored.
Right.
I mean, every night that they're playing, he scores a big time goal for them.
He has 18 games played and he has scored 20 goals. So he is over a goal per game, not a point per game, a goal per game.
I don't care what level of hockey you're at. If you're scoring over a goal per game, you're going places.
Yeah. And then you add in 13 assists on top of that. He's the captain of the London Knights, and it's all from a kid that was told he was too little and he had no offensive talent. So, and he was not creative enough to score. I don't know if you saw the goal where he deked the defenseman out of his skates and then went on to go full far side, one side on the far side on the goalie, bring it back around, toe drag, and score on the short side. It was a super high skilled goal.
Evangelista is kind of filling in the spot that Tomasino left behind when he made the full leap into the NHL. Evangelista is the new Tomasino that we're really watching in the grow up fast. He's also playing in the OHL. We saw Tomasino tear it up in the OHL as well. And so it'll be really, really fun to watch Evangelista move up. How far do you think he's away from eventually getting to the NHL, Kyle?
2 years.
2 years?
2 years.
I think he goes to Milwaukee a year, and then he will probably be up after that. That is if everything goes,
of course,
like you would expect.
What about LaRue? When do you think he's going to be AHL?
It wouldn't surprise me to see him in a Preds uniform this year.
Really?
Oh,
that's a hot take.
Because you got to remember Mason McTavish for the Ducks. He is in the OHL. He played 9 games with the Ducks. That means he does not burn a year off if he has ELC.
Oh, gotcha.
So they are allowed to come up and play. It's either 9 or 10 before you burn that year off. So after their season's over, nobody is here to say that he can't come up and play a few games. If the Pred season is done, out of hand,
right?
Why not let him come up and play a few games? If you've started trading away a few people, why not let him get that experience? He's a very NHL ready prospect because he plays his role so well. He knows what his role is going to be. So
if it gets to the point where the Preds are out of the playoff picture, and then of course I think that's definitely a great idea to get him up here and let him get some experience.
Yeah, I think so too. Which he can't go to Milwaukee, so because the rule that kept Tomasino back out of Milwaukee beforehand is back in effect now. So
good stuff.
So we'll go on to the next one, and it's just my least favorite thing of all, and that's the turkey.
Oh, no way. I know it's going to be the
dry. Turkey. It's nasty. The texture's bad. There's literally nothing good about it.
Stinks when it's cooking. Yep.
It stinks when it's cooking.
The carcass afterwards. Yeah, it's bad.
It's bad all around. So that is the Ekholm Landeskog incident. So Ekholm goes in, big scrum. Rantanen hits Riddit, and Ekholm gets mad. Everybody gets mad. He pulls Rantanen's helmet off, throws it behind him and everything, which is a dick move, to be quite frank.
Legitimate.
And, if I'm on the other team, I'm going to punch him in the face. But Gabriel Landeskog comes in, throws his gloves off, grabs Matthias, and just starts hammering him without even...
There was not even a chance for Ekholm to really realize what's going on.
Up. Yeah, he couldn't even get his arms up. Like he was pinned. I mean, there's nothing he could do.
Yeah, and I'm a big proponent of the goons and the fighters and all that kind of stuff. I love that. It's one of my favorite parts of the game. It definitely belongs. But there's a code to that.
Exactly.
There is kind of a gentleman's agreement of you don't jump somebody and just start beating them. That's you come up to the guy, turn him around, let him drop his gloves, and then you fight.
And all the Avs fans in my mentions were defending it. Of course, they were like, "Oh, well, Ekholm poked the bear and he wasn't ready to fight, or Ekholm was too afraid to fight back, or just all this." They were proud of it, and I'm like, "Come on now, neither fan base should have been proud about how that went." Let's be honest.
No, there was nothing.
Neither fan base.
No.
Number one, I don't think it was an intentional running into Riddick. I think it was an incidental thing. Number two, did Ekholm deserve to get hammered for ripping dude's helmet off by the captain of the other team? Most likely. But Landeskog did the wrong thing too in going about it the way he went about it.
Yep.
It was bad. Like you took one of the best aspects of this sport and just kind of tainted it, and kind of sucks.
And then to really round it out, because you hate turkey so much, then the Preds get a gift power play, a 4-minute power play, that extends into the third period. This is when they can make their move, and let's all be honest here, they had no business being in that game, and they were probably never going to win that game anyway. But it would have been nice to at least see the Predators get up off the mat, take advantage of that 4-minute power play, do something with it, and they didn't do anything with it.
Yeah, it was another wasted opportunity that was sad to watch.
Yeah.
So, my list turned off.
You got one more pick?
I got one more, the best for last, and that is the honey baked ham.
Oh, there you go.
So, all covered in brown sugar and honey, and
crusty.
It's all down in there, and it's all sweet and it's beautiful, and take a bite of it and it tastes like heaven. It's got all this substance to it, and that is Roman Yossi.
Of course.
There you go.
Because it is everything you could want. Yossi is second in goals, third in points among defensemen, 7 goals, 13 assists. I mean, he's doing everything he can to win another Norris. Yep. And honest to God, he probably deserves a few Hart votes, because to this team, he's the most valuable player. I know that's going to go for a whole nother reason, but you could justify a few for the Predators for Roman Yossi to get a Hart vote. Because without him playing the level he's playing and all the things he's doing, this team is not anywhere near in the conversation that they're in. They're not that bubble team. They're down there scrabbling for scraps with Arizona and Chicago and that bunch that you don't want to be in.
No, yeah, you don't want to be in that list.
All right,
for sure.
So I've got to add one to your list. You're gonna like this. Can I add one, Kyle?
Go for it.
One more. I gotta add one more side dish to this, and I kept waiting to see if you were gonna go this route or not. All right. So my side dish is the corn. Corn has no nutritional value. It's just kind of there. Sometimes it's just you eat it and it's just like it tastes like it came out of a can. It doesn't have any flavor. You got to bury it in salt and pepper to even enjoy it. And then if it does taste good, it's giving you no nutritional value. It's not going to really make or break a meal at all. Ben Harper is the corn.
Oh Lord!
And
like corn, you see it later. You keep seeing it later.
and maybe, just maybe,
you know what I'm saying.
Just maybe, if you drown the corn in butter and salt and pepper, you might be able to get it down, and you might be able to enjoy it.
Just like how we keep seeing Ben Harper. You see the corn again.
Oh Lord, have mercy.
Sorry.
For anyone who loves corn, I'm so sorry. I like the band, but the side dish, don't need it.
I like it on the cob. That's different, though.
If it's like grilled corn on the cob, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that's good
different.
Stuff.
I'm talking as a side dish for like Thanksgiving. Okay.
Yeah, if it comes out of can, I'm out.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not good.
Definitely.
I agree, 100%.
All All right, that was
Things
great.
got
All
weird.
right, so
Things got weird.
Things got really weird. That was an awesome list, though. That was outstanding work by
amazing.
Kyle there. That was awesome.
Amazing.
We always know you're going to bring the laughs, and that's why we love having you. All right, we got a couple quick hitters to hit for the episode before we wrap it up, and then of course we're going to do our live drawing for the Colton Sissons puck. We're gonna end the episode with that, so you got to stay tuned a little bit longer to find out who ends up winning the puck, signed by Colton Sissons. But I got some quick hitters here for us to address real quick. We're going to keep Kyle on here with us. The first one I've got, this is around the NHL, and that's, of course, what a lot of people are talking about today. That is Evander Kane, who got placed on waivers, cleared waivers, and now what happens with Evander Kane now? I mean, I'm a little surprised that he cleared waivers, but obviously the baggage that he carries, the baggage that he carries, people were like, no, thank you. And I even saw a few people, mostly on Pred's Facebook, which just gave me a headache, saying, we need to go sign Evander Kane right now. He can score and all this stuff. And I'm like, no.
You don't
please
want that.
No. Kyle, Kyle, what are you thinking about the Evander Kane situation?
Let him go play in the Ukrainian Hockey League.
That'll toughen him up.
I'm done with Evander Kane.
So he made a fake vaccination card too, right? I don't remember the story exactly, but all I can think of is the McLovin from Superbad, where he uses the fake ID. And every time I think about the fake vax cards, that's what I think of. I think there was another player in the NFL that did it. I think it was
Aaron
Beckham.
Rodgers.
Or he used a fake vax card? Aaron Rodgers did?
He lied about it.
Well, he definitely lied about it.
But I think, player? Oh, I can't remember who it was.
I think it's Odell Beckham. Or either Odell Beckham or Antonio Brown, one of those outlandish wide receivers.
One of those guys.
But so I always think of the McLovin fake ID. But
Lindsay says, no, thank you. Get him out of the league. Yeah.
Please and thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and then of course he's got, which is no laughing matter as well. He's got the legal troubles with his girlfriend or ex-girlfriend or wife or whatever. But just wait. I don't care how talented he is. You can't risk putting something like that in your locker room. You just cannot do it.
I agree.
No way.
I think me and Kyle were talking about it earlier. I can't remember. Oh, Zach, who was on here earlier, he asked the question about should the Preds get him? And we were both like, well, Kyle was like, no, he did a meme. And then I was like, they got enough problems as it is. They don't need to be adding anything like that in. So, yeah, it's not a good idea.
No.
Definitely not a good idea.
All right, then, Rich, talk about your other big quick hitter here regarding the Boston Bruins, which is some pretty good news.
Yeah, Brad Marchand slew-footed somebody. I don't even remember who it was. 3-game suspension. That's pretty hefty. I believe that.
It's very hefty.
Like, I understand a lot of people don't like Brad Marchand, and I'm like one of the people who do. PK Subban, Kyle brought this up on Twitter. He did it 3 times in a month, 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, and he's injured people. There's people missing time because of him injuring them. And
I saw this on Twitter too. People have said the same thing, but I think everybody likes PK Subban, and he doesn't have any kind of record of, fines and suspensions that I can't think of any. And, people just don't like Brad Marchand, and he's got a history. So, they stuck it to him. And now this kind of ticks me off a little bit. I'm actually going to the Boston game Thursday night, and he's not going to be there because he's suspended. So I wanted to see him play. But on the flip side, the Predators,
it does help the Preds. It helps the Preds' chances.
Definitely helps the Preds' chances. He's their top point getter on the team.
This is another game where the Predators might get exposed. They're playing a really quality team, and I really, really need to see the Predators step up and get a impressive win. They've got a couple impressive wins this year. I'd call the Calgary win pretty impressive. I'd call they've beaten some quality teams, a couple. Minnesota was a quality win. Anaheim was definitely a quality win. But far too often, they're getting ran out of the building against really good teams. And so this is on Thursday, it's another big opportunity. I'm actually going to a much, much less intriguing game. I'm going tomorrow night to the Columbus Blue Jackets game. And
I think
Going
they're
right
actually
after-
playing pretty good, though, aren't they?
Yeah,
they are.
decent.
The Blue Jackets are always that team. They don't get any news. No one really talks about them, but last year they were pretty bad in the in the switch ups of the divisions or whatever. But for the most part every year they're a quality team. But I'm looking forward to that. It'll be my first game of the year.
That'd be awesome.
So excited about that.
Yep. Lindsay brought up Brady Tkachuk getting bit by Brandon Lemieux. That was another big story.
That was weird. That was
Do you
really
remember
weird.
the
So
YouTube
crazy.
video, the Charlie bit my finger?
Yes.
I couldn't
Brandon
help but
bit my
think of that.
I don't know if you saw it or not, but did you all see Brady Tkachuk's statement? It was like a big, huge, long.
Oh yeah, he let him have it.
Yeah, somebody paid Gilbert Gottfried to do a cameo and read that. It is so funny because of his voice.
It's hilarious.
It's great.
It's so funny.
So
Everyone needs to
good,
go watch that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. Good stuff. That was a weird situation, but
Yeah, don't bite people.
Yeah,
don't do that.
I don't understand that.
All right.
Kind of weird.
All right, Rich. So the time has come.
Oh, we doing
our
it?
contest drawing. Let's do it.
All right. So I got all the names in the hat right here. Kyle's
the official Catfish and Ice podcast hat. Kyle's in there. Yes, Kyle's name's.
Oh, really?
A lot of our loyal listeners who always get in on the action, always comment on the show. They're in this contest giveaway.
All right. I got one.
It was our YouTube subscriber giveaway for the Colton Sissons puck. Let's see who gets it.
Tyler. I don't know what his handle is or anything, but Tyler is on YouTube. One of our YouTube followers. We'll have to look up his name and see what his user name is. And we will be getting this puck out to you. You need to get in touch with us or we'll get in touch with you. Got the puck coming to you. Gonna DM us. We need your address and all that business, and we'll get that puck sent out to you, man. And the gift
All right, congratulations to Tyler.
Yep.
Congrats, Tyler. We will try to contact with Tyler and make sure he gets his puck and his $25 gift card to Nashville Locker Room. Awesome stuff. We will do more giveaways as the season goes because these are a lot of fun, and we love giving back to the listeners that make our podcast possible. I mean, that's what it's all about here is giving back to the listeners that allow us to do what we love to do. If we didn't have them, there would be no podcast. We would just be me and Rich and Kyle just sitting in our living rooms being weird.
That would be weird.
Which we are, all three of us are very weird, but in a good way, I feel. But we appreciate everyone.
But now we can be weird together. And that's
right.
Just better.
We can be weird together.
I agree.
Which that perfectly rounds out episode 84, which has been weird.
Yep.
Thank you everyone for listening. This is Chad
thank you.
With Rich Howe and Kyle Perkins. It's always a blast. Everyone have a great and safe week. The Preds got 2 big games coming up this week at home. The Blue Jackets and the Bruins on Thursday. Rich will be at Thursday's game. I'll be at Tuesday's game. We will talk it on Thursday. Rich will be at the game. But me and Kyle Perkins got you covered on Thursday, so stay tuned for that. Kyle Perkins is joining as the full-time co-host, so that will be a lot of fun. Until then, everyone have a great week and stay safe. We'll see you next time on Catfish on Ice.
Have a good one.